It is the Michigan Football Report presented by the Fetch Rewards app, the app that you just pull out, you scan your receipts when you walk out of the store, you get points, you get free gift cards. It's awesome. Chatsports.com/fetch. Use promo code Michigan for 3,000 bonus points when you sign up. All right, folks. We've got a lot to talk about today around the coaching staff. Michigan's making some coordinator hires, moving some guys around. Before we do, though, I need to reach out through the screen, ask you a favor, do a little handshake deal here. If you like the show and you have subscribed in the past and this isn't your first time watching, recommend us to a friend if you would. Really trying to push towards 20,000. This is a tough time of year to grow a channel like this because, there's not always topics on a daily basis that attract new audience. So youtube.com/Michigan TV. I'll put it down in the comments and the description. Say, hey, subscribe to this show. You'll get this channel. You'll get new programming on YouTube every day or two for the entire Michigan football off season. Let's see if we can get to 20,000 subscribers in the next week. Big time movement for the Michigan football coaching staff this afternoon. We're going to talk about Jim Harbaugh's new defensive coordinator hire. Also, an offensive coordinator hire that's certain to be a surprise to some of you, but the play calling duties might be a surprise to most folks based on what we've been hearing over the last week or so. But I do want to start off the show because I know this is a name that many of you have heard, but some of you may not have heard. Al Glick, longtime Michigan donor, over 60 years he has been kind of a figure around the program. Passed away today at 95 years old. He is the founder and CEO of Alro Steel. His never actually went to Michigan, although he's one of their top 10 donors in the entire university. But his brother that he started this company with did go to Michigan. Michigan's practice facility, the Glick Family Practice Facility. He sits next to Juwan Howard, one seat over from the head coach every basketball game. If you see that little tiny old man sitting next to basketball coach over the last 20 plus years, that was Al Glick. So R.I.P. to him. Honor him down in the comments if you know who he is, or heck, just to say R.I.P. Rest in peace to Al Glick. Passed away today at 95 years old. So that is the story there with a Michigan athletics legend in a lot of ways, putting up money to get Michigan's practice facility built. Let's start with the news, though. Pete Thamel from formerly, I don't know, where was he, SI, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo, somewhere. Now he's at ESPN. It's got me blocked on Twitter because I made a smart-ass comment about one of his tweets a year ago. Whatever. He broke the story this afternoon that Michigan will hire Jesse Minter from Vanderbilt over to Michigan. Only spent 1 year at Vandy as their defensive coordinator, and that was this past season. Now, this name might be familiar to you guys because he actually interviewed with Michigan a little over a year ago for an assistant coaching job, one of these secondary safeties coach, cornerbacks coaches, etc., but was also interviewing with Vanderbilt at the time, got their defensive coordinator role. At 37 years old, he will become Michigan's new defensive coordinator. This is kind of like a Harbaugh brother, tunnel buddy swapping, because he was, prior to 1 year at Vandy, he was with the Baltimore Ravens, just like Mike McDaniel, obviously just like Matt Weiss, etc., and spent 1 year at Vandy. Now he will be Michigan's new defensive coordinator. So I want to ask you guys, go ahead down in the comments. I'm going to pin this comment below the video. Grade this hire of Jesse Minter as Michigan's new defensive coordinator. I'm going to wait here in a second because I got a couple more takes on Minter to give you my grade, but I want you guys to go down, let me know A, B, C, D, or F, and hey, don't be a rookie out there. If you want to give him an A-, B+, C+, whatever it is, you can add the pluses and minuses if you choose to. Told you at the top of the show, we are presented by the Fetch Rewards app. Just pulled the numbers from executive producer Sam. Said the Seahawks show here at Chat Sports beating Michigan. They're kind of driving downloads to our partner. So make sure you guys download the app because, hell, it's only a benefit to you. Go to chatsports.com/fetch. It'll be down in the comments and the description of this video. Use promo code Michigan, 3,000 bonus points. Now, what are these bonus points? What's this app all about? Yes, scan your receipts when you leave a store. You can go to a big store, Target, Walmart, small store, a little mom and pop shop, restaurants, anything in between. Sync your email, sync your Amazon account. You get points for every purchase you make. Those are points every purchase you make. Those points then turn into gift cards. You can get a gift card to Amazon, Starbucks, Target, CVS, Airbnb, Southwest Airlines. and it is a completely free app. Get the 3,000 bonus points by make sure you use that link. Chatsports.com/fetch will drop you right into the App Store to download, iPhone, Android. Use promo code Michigan, and when you scan your first receipt, 3,000 reward points. Folks, I am just getting bonus points left and right. I'm waiting outside a grocery store saying, yo, can I scan your receipt really quick? Doing it all day. And, now I've got a couple $100 in Amazon gift cards just burn a hole in my pocket, and it's all thanks to Fetch. Chatsports.com/Fetch. Promo code Michigan for 3,000 bonus points. This is a synergy hire. And what do we mean by that? Well, he runs the same defensive system, ran it at Vanderbilt this year, that Mike Macdonald ran at Michigan, that Baltimore in some ways, I don't know if that's, what's the guy's name? What's his name? Wink Martindale, their D coordinator who just left. Now he's away with the Giants. Is that what I read today? He was their boss, their mentor. These Minter and McDonald were the proteges of Wink Martindale with the Baltimore Ravens. It's a similar system. I'm actually surprised Jim Harbaugh didn't take a stab to see if Wink Martindale didn't want to come over to Michigan. Maybe he wanted to stay in the NFL. But this seems like in any other scenario, had Jesse Minter never worked for the Baltimore Ravens, had he not had a relationship with John Harbaugh, had he not known Mike McDonald for the 4 years they worked together in Baltimore, I don't know if he's the hire, right? Just like I said with if Mike Hart wasn't named Mike Hart, Michigan's all-time leading rusher, would he be a candidate for their head coaching job should Jim Harbaugh left? I think that's similar here, and that's not to knock, Jesse Minter's capabilities or anything like that, but this is a synergy hire. He knows the system that Michigan put in place this year, from a defensive line that's going to turn out 2 top 20 picks in the draft to a secondary that was one of the worst in the country last year, was one of the best in the country this year, and had a number of players go pro early, et cetera. You guys know all of what that secondary brought to the table. Linebackers, Michigan wasn't certainly didn't have star linebackers this year, but you know the system, and I think that is where we are going with this hire. It seems like a synergy hire, and I actually think that is probably exactly what Michigan needed. Another news piece of item here on a Tuesday afternoon is Matt Weiss, who, if you follow me on Twitter or even on this show last week, I said he is likely to be Michigan's offensive coordinator now following the departure of Josh Gaddis, who is headed down to be taking a demotion to be the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes. But it is pretty interesting because it's being reported out there that Weiss, as expected, will not be Michigan's play caller. I thought he was Jim Harbaugh's right-hand man from everything we've heard about for the last year, but Sharon Moore will actually get a stab at being Michigan's play caller. He was Michigan's tight ends coach in 2020, got promoted to co-OC and offensive line coach, where he did a heck of a job this year. But Weiss is going to kind of be the secondary offensive coordinator, co-OC, get a promotion, and Sharon Moore expected to become Michigan's primary play caller. More coaching news. Ron Bellamy, high school coaching legend in the state of Michigan, Michigan wide receiver back in the early 2000s, came over as the wide receiver coach. Then Michigan had a coach leave to be head coach at the Buffalo Bulls, and so they had to go, well, we need a safety coach. Cool. Ron, go over there. You probably can coach safeties, right? Did a pretty good job. Now he will be returning to the position he knows best, where he played himself at Michigan about 18, 19 years ago. He will become your new wide receivers coach, expected. Things could change, so we'll see when it's officially announced, but that is the expectation right now around this program. So if we think about the offensive coaching staff, you're going to have Matt Weiss as your co-OC quarterbacks coach. Sharon Moore will be your offensive line coach and primary OC and your play caller. Ron Bellamy will be your wide receivers coach, and then Mike Hart will be considered to be your running backs coach. Now, there's some rumors out there. Grant Newsome, I mean, what can I say? Me and Grant Newsome, we go way back. He once told me I was a complete jerk, but nevertheless, he is rumored to be the front runner to be Michigan's new tight ends coach. And if that comes to fruition, the coaching staff will basically be completely full now with the addition of Minter. Newsome will fill the other role that Michigan has available on their coaching staff. It's been a season of chaos, off-season of chaos. Jim Harbaugh looked at the NFL for 30 straight days. Michigan's defensive coordinator left to go to the Baltimore Ravens. It's kind of as expected. And then Josh Gaddis leaves for the Miami Hurricanes and kind of walks out the door talking some trash, how he wasn't respected and Michigan didn't want him there and yada, yada, yada to the current coaching staff. A little bit of, rubbing some salt on the wounds of Harbaugh looking around. But describe with one word this offseason for Michigan so far. I'll just say chaotic. If I had two words, I'd actually say exciting. From my perspective, it's much better than the past off seasons when really nothing happens from mid-January until spring practice starts in late March. So I've been excited about it, lots to talk about, but I don't know from you guys one word to describe Michigan's offseason so far. Let's go back to Jesse Minter, Michigan's 37-year-old defensive coordinator, coming over from Vanderbilt, where he just spent the one season as their defensive coordinator and coached the safeties for them last season. Prior to that we put DB's coach. He ended up the defensive back coach with the Ravens in the 2019-2020 season, but prior to that, he was assistant DB coach, and then in 2017, he was just defensive assistant, whatever that means. 2013 to 2016, Georgia State, who actually moved from FCS up to FBS, and I think one of those seasons actually went winless, like 0-12. He was the defensive coordinator there. Prior to that, Indiana State, followed the head coach from Indiana State to Georgia State. That's kind of how he ends up from going from Indiana State over to Georgia State, two schools that no one really knows anything about their football programs. Indiana State, 2011 and 12, and then prior to that was with Cincinnati as a grad assistant, 2007 and 2008, where he was on the same coaching staff as Michigan's new defensive line coach, Mike Ellison, who he will now be his boss. So kind of jumped him in the pecking order when they were at Cincinnati. Minter was a graduate assistant. Prior to that, 2006, he was a one-year intern with Notre Dame under Charlie Weiss in the 2006 season. How about this Vanderbilt defense? They were probably really good last year, right? Wrong. Pretty terrible. And that's what I said. If he was the defensive coordinator who had no history with Jim Harbaugh, no history with John Harbaugh, didn't know Mike McDonald's system, Wink Martindale system, would he be a candidate for this job? I would say probably not. Vanderbilt had a really bad defense in 2020. He came in and they only got marginally better. If you see the bottom of the screen, the 121st defense in America 2 years ago, before we got there, 488 yards per game, and really didn't improve it. What, about 23, 22 yards per game? He improved it, jumped them up from number 121 to number 118 in total defense. But down at the very bottom of all of college football with all of those rankings last year, and at the very bottom amongst the bottom 3 or 4 or 5 teams of every single category of all Power 5 teams. So he's not bringing proven success as a defensive coordinator in the SEC. Had better stats at his stints with Georgia State and at Indiana State, but this is the big boys now. I think this is a continuity thing. He knows the system is going to come in. Michigan will not be shaking things up for a second offseason like they did last year. They're going to keep the same offensive system in place, same defensive system in place with these moves today. So I think it helps out with a lot of the uncertainty amongst the players, amongst the coaching staff. And I think it's kind of all systems go for Michigan going forward up until about 6 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. Michigan will start spring practice. One more time, I'm going to ask you a favor. Grab that link, screenshot it, send it to a friend, go down the copy, the description or the comments, and copy it. Send it to a friend. Let's get to 20,000 together. Was looking up on the YouTube World Book of World Records today. No YouTube channel in the history of YouTube going back 16 years has ever hit 20,000 subscribers that covers Michigan football as their primary topic. So we can be the first one. Let's set records together. Only need 649 more Michigan fans. Or hell, just send it to your grandma. She doesn't even know anything about football. Just say, Grams, you're watching those videos on YouTube all the time. Click this link, subscribe to Yoder. We need to get to 20,000 together. And that's that. So we will be back tomorrow, maybe. I was planning on doing a defensive coordinator hot board, offensive coordinator hot board, kind of cover both those with these announcements today. So we will start diving into spring practice on a video coming up either Wednesday or Thursday. Until then, go Blue.